Hi guys, this is week 27 Project Life and I'm starting with my photos, and I have this stamp set from Kelly Stamps, Currently We Are. Now it was release day yesterday at Kelly Stamps, so this is a brand new stamp set. So today I want to see how far I can stretch it doing a spread of Project Life. So I grabbed some white card, but I am going to end up changing a couple of those out for some pattern paper later on. And as I was looking through this stamp set, I mean, you can see there's a million little words on there, but the stamp that I love the most is the one that says currently. So I'm going to see how many times I can use that and kind of make it like a bit of a theme for the page. So there's a little bit of blank space in this photo, which I think will be perfect for stamping some of these little words. So I am going to use the currently stamp, but I wanted to use one of these little phrases underneath it first. So I just stamped I run on coffee, which was fairly relevant to the photo, in Memento black ink first, and then stamping currently with the Brilliance gold ink. And it's kind of hard to see here on camera, but it does show up really nicely in real life. I was a bit worried that on the white it wouldn't show up, but it does. Now on this photo I'm not worried about the gold showing up because I've got a lovely dark patch down the bottom, so I am going to use some gold and some white ink. So I used the gold to stamp out today, and I'm going to stamp currently along the bottom in white. Now the currently stamp I was using before is much larger and wouldn't have fit, but luckily there is a little one amongst all these tiny words up here. So I grabbed that and I just repeat stamping that across the bottom, just in a line in that Moonlight white ink all the way across, and then call that photo done. For this photo of Lil, I'm going to join a couple of these stamps together because there's one in there that says Nup, and that's exactly the look on her face, Nup. And the stamp I'm adding to the back of that is All Day, because that's the face I get all day. So I'm just stamping those in a row, and I will add a little bit of embellishment to that later on, but for now that's my stamping done. Now I decided this photo of me and Lily taking a walk was another opportunity to use this currently stamp that I had before. So first I'm stamping We Are and then currently. So the We Are's in the same font as currently, and I'm stamping them both in the Moonlight white. And then I'm going to add another one of those tiny little words underneath in the Memento ink, and that says Here and There. For this bottom card down here, I had intended to do a row of these currently stamps, but I'm actually not loving all the white paper. So I went and grabbed out of my stash just any cards, 3x4s and 4x6s that I had that were just white but had the gold foiling on it. I like that sort of gold to go with this set of photos. They're all quite warm, so I think gold foil goes nicely. So I'm just having a look through. I picked out a couple of 3x4s, and then I quite like this 4x6, the craft with the gold polka dots, except I'm not loving the gold polka dots. I wonder how I'm going to stamp with those. So instead I put those cards back and grabbed some just craft cardboard. It's just a scrap of chipboard. I think it's not even really craft colored. It's sort of that similar sort of warm tone cardboard, and trim that out to a 4x6, and I'm gonna do some embossed stamping on here. So I just prepped the cardboard with my powder tool, and I'm laying my photo out where I think it's gonna go so that I can just line the stamp up at the bottom. I'm just going to try one of these stamps first and see how it looks. So I've just added some gold zing embossing powder, heated that with my heat tool, and it looks great on the craft. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp that 4 more times. So I've stamped it at the top so that it lines up with the top of my photo, then roughly in the middle, and then twice more in the middle of each of those gaps, just to try and make sure that it's evenly spaced down the card. Go ahead and heat emboss those, clean up a little bit, it's one thing I dislike about heat embossing, and re-stick my photo back onto that craft card. Now again, I'm going to add a little one of these tiny word stamps to my photo that says Everyday Life. This was when I quite badly hurt my fingers, and it very much derailed my plans for not just that weekend but the entire week after that. So luckily they're back to normal now, but that was incredibly painful. I stuck down my little square photos and I'm just having a go at combining a couple of these little stamps to create my own sentiment. The stamp said "me time, heck yes," and I just used some partial stamping to change that to "we time, heck yes," because my husband very kindly indulged me in a night of couples face masks, so that definitely needed a photo to document that, even though you can see he was extremely unhappy about me taking the selfie. I used my Labels 101 stamp set from Kelly Stamps to just stamp out a couple of label stamps around those two sentiments. I've stamped another one there, Happy Mail, to go on my Happy Mail photo, and luckily that label stamp fit perfectly, so that was more good luck than planning, but we got there in the end. And now I'm moving on to my title card, and I'm not quite sure what I want to do. I know I want to use that Currently stamp again, but gold ink doesn't look great on the white card. It kind of comes off sort of yellowy rather than gold. So decided to skip the white card altogether, and I've grabbed out this gold foil pad of paper. I think it's a really old Studio Calico one. Obviously I've barely used it because all the patterns are still there. So I've picked out this grid one rather than any of the more busy patterns, and I'm just trimming that down to 4x6, and I'm going to use that as the base for my title card. Now I can stamp Currently in a row across this card in the black ink, and it all stands out very nicely, so that was a good solution. Now I'm going to use some alphas to spell out my week title, and I've got these little mini alphas from Pinkfresh, which I really love. But obviously there's no numbers in this set, and when I tried to spell it out, I'm not going to be able to spell out 27. I don't have enough E's left. So I grabbed this other really old pack of black thickers to fill in my 27, and I really like the different fonts together. It's sort of a happy accident there. So I'm using that same label stamp to create my date label, so I can just date this title card, and I like that it sort of matches with the rest of the spread. Trim that out, and again I'm super happy with those Cutter-Bee scissors. They are great. And now I'm just going to add a little bit of embellishment to the spread. You could leave it plain like this, but I want to add just a little bit more pizzazz to it, I guess. I've got this super skinny gold foil washi tape, and it is really gold foil, which is what I love about it. There's lots of washi tapes you get, they're just gold coloured, but this is actually gold foiled, and it's super shiny and super pretty, and I love it. So I'm just adding a little strip under each of those tiny word stamps on my 3x4 photos. And then I've got these enamel dots from Eco Park that are in more sort of neutral colours, and I wasn't sure what I was going to use them for when I first got them. They're not my usual style, I guess, but I quite liked them, and it turns out that they match this spread perfectly. These little ones are a little bit fussy to put on, so I grabbed my tweezers, which made it much easier. And they weren't going to work for a couple of these other photos, so I knew I had these ones somewhere. I went hunting for them. They've got these little grey hearts on them, and they're even more perfect for these two photos here. So I add a couple of those and then call this page all done. I really love this stamp set from Kelly Stamps. I think it's super versatile. I love that I did a whole page using just the one stamp set. I will leave a link for it down below if you want to grab it yourself. It is currently available in the shop. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you want to keep watching, there's a couple more videos on screen. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye!